There is some insight about how to sort a, in a programming, computer programming. There is a bubble sort. There is also possibility to traverse the tree and find certain things you might don't like and enable, disable. Enable, disable imply that the node is mutable instead of immutable. That's mostly basically the most I know from algorithms. And it seems that the issue is knowing or not knowing rather than talking about it. So let's explore a little bit the knowing, not knowing. So I don't want to know. If I know, then I feel as a good subject to discuss. At least something you can know some words, at least couple few words, and that's I guess mostly neutral. So we are talking about different kind of knowing, where we are talking about like for example when I say we, I catch myself saying we because I'm just I here, and seems that there is some sort of I think uh, false presumption that there is someone else above here who dictates my my understanding of this world. So basically, this knowing is something I've got from Christopher Hitchens, and I sense some unpleasant sensation about it. The guy is atheist. He doesn't believe in God, and this is exactly somehow at least feels like it, the sense that there is you learn things from books, from internet, from many sources, and that which you recall, the memory of the source or the name, when you share a quote like I am that I am, you also have to share the Bible. I don't know the certain. I feel guilty of saying but after the word Bible, which I think is a little bit of madness, and is madness because there is interference of computer art with religious madness. So, you know, the religious madness should keep its space and not interfere with your ability to reason. I'm not talking at a larger scale, I'm talking a smaller scale. And this interference, in computer art, there is attention you give to the current word syntax, which when then you got a different load, emotional load, mental load, then that ability to look from the point of view of computer art, it's like hijacked. Computer art, we are also have a name for it is DDoS attack. When your a machine is flooded with requests that are meant to make your machine work slower, and okay, that's the issue. So that's from within Bible. You have to mention like a quote, which is I've been learning from the internet. So the issue it's mostly internet, as I am not far, or as here are mostly influences from Russia. There is and as there is some information going around. Besides, taking information for granted or being hooked by information, you have to better look, you know, in your own network and see maybe the new guy in the neighborhood with the big computer beast came into play. And if you didn't catch the irony already, is mostly about intelligence, artificial intelligence, or the other way around if you use a certain language, which I think it's somehow like the car going on one side or the other, or can be some grammar stuff you can read more about on AI. So let's see what is the English intelligence, artificial intelligence, and Romanian intelligence artificial. Why the other way around? The deeper insight. Curious about this. The short answer is syntax. So pretty much like computer art, different languages. So I think there is besides the religious madness, there is also in my own life experience. Besides that, there is uh, a lot of talk about law, and the law seems to be some nice jacket, or I don't know, some control over other, power over other, which I don't think is the real power. I'm actually also curious about these things. So I suppose the internet news being uh, disconnected is because of a certain influence of artificial intelligence. And, if you, I mean, with artificial intelligence, you don't need a priest, you don't need a therapist. You might need a therapist because, emotional connection and so. And you, you might not need even, from my point of view, seems that the age is important. The AI can be used above 13, and you can learn about everything. And I feel this is mostly to uh, actually try to I'm saying this because for a certain let's say type of people, saying this for the old here in Badr Kulane, old people, and they function from the old legacy, and they see me as some sort of virus. Not so many people working in computer art. I know some guy, Christian. He later on was working with React. He traveled a lot traveled in Las Vegas, and later on he worked a little bit in React, but not so uh, deep into it. Mostly recent, and I compare myself. The the thing here is that the sort, bubble sort, and tree version is something I've been learning in school in Timișoara West University, where there was a guy, Sora, like GPT Sora, who was like a master in algorithms, and I didn't actually understand how the guy is able to use, symbols to create some algorithm. Still, I've been learning a little bit of algorithm from him, data structure, lists, linked lists. But with AI, it's much simple. If you know, I mean, if you have some pointers, then it's easy to know where to look, and you can also read summaries of books. You can actually, it, it's up to you basically. You can do a certain experiment. Most of things I am not quite comfortable to talk because are mostly things people are judging you like being crazy or I don't understand. So this is like coming back to what I've been saying earlier. There are not so not so many people here, mostly old people, and they want only like food, shelter. So it's like survival mode. And why I'm here because there is some clash of religious madness, of system unease, which I suspect is because of AI, and professions. My profession, when some of the computer art is basically like a complete context out of which you can learn about yourself, how the mind is working, mostly from AI, not from consuming, but also from if you want to make some steps into understanding. I think the understanding of AI is understanding of yourself. Understanding of yourself is understanding of maybe reality or things are somehow a little bit not so common here because people see if let's say you study AI, it's mostly like it's too deep for, and if the accent is too much on the body, then you have to like defend a little bit and create some distance and create some boundaries. Mostly when the people are around are hungry. I mean, to be around the people which are hungry and in survival mode, and you to uh, learn about artificial intelligence is a little bit learning about artificial intelligence and using artificial intelligence. It's like uh, s- stealing an apple and making the garden. To make the garden is a little bit difficult. You have to know to use the land, the soil, the nutrients, proper irrigation, and plant the seeds and make the trimming and these kind of things. So, besides the sensation of having to give explanation for something you might not understand, it's because there is also some guy close and many police presence in this city. And I remember from my experience with one of them from Timisoara, where I used to study computer art, had some interaction with him and eventually gave him a book about computer. But I think it's mostly about that. I think they know, about uh, if I be to step out a little bit from computer art, from to reasoning or use AI for this, I have a like innocent question. Do the police watch your time to know when? I mean, it's foolish. Time is perceived in two. Uh, I mean, there's a linear time. You have the car and you go to one city to a different city, and nothing aside means anything. Or you can just walk and experience life, and time is different. So if you look at time like an arrow, then someone would say, and probably police, that your time is up, or these kind of things I'm thinking about, because it's related somehow. If you make if you make connections, you might uh, come with insight like this and ask yourself, do I know absolutely that this is true? And I think this is mostly related with how it's in Romania. There is some late allowance of immigration and not defending yourself too much. Defending your tradition too much. It's somehow awkward. Why should you defend tradition? You must somehow be a little bit confident and open to share tradition, not to defend your tradition. If you want to defend what? It's to talk about it, not to defend. Defending comes from uh, a false sense of self. And then you think of history and so on. And my curiosity here is with AI. History would be like AI is like an end of history as you know it, and the history as you know it, like there were analogic photo apparat with film, rolling film, and now it's like somehow a universe of uh, dots. So it's like you all of a sudden pull your head up and look to the sky. I'm inside now, but you got the idea. And that's actually some not a kind of transition. It was there before, but you've been looking to survive, to find food, and actually this is somehow deeply seated. And I got bored, and I'm bored because people are also doing some mountain trails, and seems that the mountain trails are within the collective mind more important than the lower level. So it's up and down, and up means you elevate your inner vibration, and the reference to the body again is mostly from the point of view of I have to talk a little bit about uh, doctor and doctor versus mechanic. Mechanic can stop the car, and the doctor has to keep the car running. And basically there is some sort of fog, old people buying all sorts of supplements, uh, at least this is what I say now, just not to you know talk about something which I don't actually intend to. And I think this is a problem because you must contribute to local, and the local problems are meant not to be solved like the pills, are meant to uh, make you pay taxes and so on. You know the story. So the kind of thing, you are your own doctor, and mental emotional patterns accumulation is mostly of a reaction to fear. Someone says and expects you to be a savior, like some figure, figure savior role, and give no attention, and it seems like a big deception. I mean, there is love yourself, or actually, Jesus Christ said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." But when you point out the legs as as your attention is actually hijacked by interpretation of dreams, which is mad. In other words, they say it's hijacked by So they go to a different class. I've been sharing recently. Actually, this is here on the other screen. Maybe it comes from subconscious mind. Your eyes have certain some certain degree of perception. There is also the focus where you focus, and there is also perception, and there is something within. You have to. I've been sharing this last on signal, and the thing with the doctor is the vibe from the city. And the thing is that there is also people coming from different areas to visit to visit the area from mountains and this is a little bit toxic for people who are coming from different places, and it feels heavy. How can you not take in consideration love your neighbor as yourself, and actually uh, to take that in consideration, but not take in consideration loving yourself. I mean, you go to massage, and masseur is actually with the hands up. I don't know, not taking care of you know its its practice, and this is one of the issues of I've been noticing around. So there is also a lot of politics influence, which mostly is meant to deceive one another, and the deception comes from the understanding or misunderstanding that more is less. This goes deeper into some to- talking about hierarchical and like a simple example within a corporation, hierarchical corporation. There are usually like a scrum master who is handling the team. There is also the team leader who is speaking out the voice of the team. And if one of the team member is not listened or is bullied, then the leader is just talking because that's his job. And there is an issue, and at a larger scale, the dynamic is more complex than that. Then you can look at it as having two teams, and one of the team wanting more money for the project, and making some tricks, and that somehow at a smaller scale easier to understand from a subjective perspective is when someone comes to you to give some money present, and you ask what is it for yourself, for you, and there is also a reason behind, and that's the um, stuff I'm actually expressing here out. So maybe I'm asking a question. What are you doing? Is mostly the most common question, and you know the as the doing is also related with thinking, and if your let's say computer is hijacked, and the problem is that you say computer to the body, and the problem is so because the body is not a computer. Okay, so this kind of madness is mostly, I think, related with someone tries to override your software because your software is not good enough. I suppose, I don't know. So you have to become self-aware of your mental emotional patterns and also try to do uh, emotional hygiene, which I call this from some teaching, which I tend to look for the source just to see is not attacked by a certain foreign by so this again some sort of madness. The internet was there years before you uh, intersecting with someone. So this intersection I'm talking about here is if let's say some investigation, let's say the FBI comes to you and tries to dig into what maybe you should uh, not do, or in other words, is basically like the process of thinking that the Facebook is wrong is somehow or not Facebook or some like even Facebook or let's say like operating system like Windows and so on. You are thinking you are doing good and you blame the Facebook, but you are actually mad. How could you blame the Facebook or some application which they initially started from a point of from a point of everybody wants to do good. Everyone wants to be happy. So the good is mostly related with politics and too much of good. I think it's like not so good. And this field of good and not so good is mostly too primitive. Primitive, meaning this probably there is a deeper understanding, and you want to talk about. I think this goes into from the computer art. It's related with one and zero, binary, and also bitwise operations and these kind of things. So it's like you want to escape because The escape here, you want to escape from what? From your own creation. So here I am taking a break from my current recent project, and actually having some kind of retreat. And the confusion is that you have to do something with I give an example. I have so the misunderstanding is because you think it's some sort of paradox here. If there is a project, so the looking is for a certain resolution, and there is some like business. In business, you have things. So they are talking about business, legal kind of stuff, which is out of this current topic. You can write some Python script without thinking of business, without thinking of money. So as I went up to this point, I realized that a lot of noise is mostly something you have to be awake to most of the time. Okay, and the other aspect of this way of jumping from you know one object to the other, like seeing the the view from the window of a car, and as you remember, keep an object and then keep an object and keep an object, and you actually not being in the car is some sort of realization that my car I sold, I renounced to my car a while ago. I had a Volkswagen Polo Blue. I lost my car. I enjoy walking on barefoot on walking on foot 100 times than the car. But and also if you don't have a car and you like to walk, then you can notice people and their relation with their car. They keep their car in their minds, and sometimes you have to not complain, or rather shift here and there, just to keep your sanity in check. And mostly key for this, you can check online, is the illusion of a separate self. I had the curiosity today. I asked people outside, what happens if you talk with a woman and keep your eye closed and film with the phone, and then you give the video to a certain person. Does the person feel like someone throws water on her or not? And this is mostly related with an experiment I want to inquiry into AI and see if I can pinpoint some understanding. The experiment, the scientific experiment where the observer changes the matter by being observed, otherwise not. Something like that. I think, yeah, it's a double slit experiment, which I like to pinpoint. So think of it as the fire of the consciousness, if you want to call it that, or in other words, the light of consciousness, like the sun. Sun affects the plant in any way. Let me see how the sun affects the plant, and is the double slit experiment, is the double slit experiment related with this? Because I feel it is. They it says the connection between the sun and the plant is one of the most fundamental energy transfers on Earth, but the link to the double slit experiment is actually much deeper than most people realize. It's not just about light being involved in both, it's about quantum biology. So there are certain points how the sun affects the plant, the link to the double slit experiment, how the sun affects the plant. The sun provides the energy for photosynthesis, the process by which plants turn light, water, and CO2 into sugar energy. And the link to the double slit experiment is where the double slit experiment comes in. Remember that the experiment proves that particles like photons or electrons can act like waves and exist in multiple places at once, superposition until they are observed. So this is also related with my inner some sort of inquiry that someone is watching or not. I don't know. So I don't know this. Uh, okay, and a small correction. While they are related to the laws of physics, it's important to note that the plant is not observing the sun in the way the Stout-Slit experiment describes. So this is very interesting, uh, let's say, niche, which I was looking and I like to look. And the issue is that from my family background, a religious background, this stuff is seen as the devil's work, which I think is foolish because you should mind your, you make the plant a tree, build a house, and make family as I control you from above. This kind of mentality, which is mad. And I have to also play a kind of role, to. I usually am a introvert, and clash I've been talking about earlier is somehow from my understanding, besides the media streams and happenings in other places on the world. My mother has a partner of a certain profession which comes from policing, and I think n- n- me reading about double slit experiment is from two drives, from curiosity and from policing. What is actually my current question that comes up is from the policing rather than the real, you know. So there is some sort of load which it's mostly like a software, and besides the guy, there is also some other guy from religious and this kind of things. So I find myself in a difficult position to maintain my space to be able to work because computer art is still there. The most people I know, and they talk about like me finding a different job, and they are almost a lot of time green on Facebook. They are actually, I think, uh, not acting in my own best best outcome at all. So here I am also in a survival mode, and also with the inner space of trying to explain myself to the policing guy, and in a way that its brain will not burn. So he looks at me as being an issue of studying about double split. What the heck is double split? You have to. So again, that's perceived as negative, as bad. So this is how it is in this Palerculane, and me playing the role of victim is not a solution because on a higher aspect, there is Karpman. I want to read a little bit about shortly. What is Karpman? Feels like a process, judging process. Different kind of processes. There's also processes on. So maybe mostly there is also reaction, but carp. To stick to this for now. There is Karpman refers to Karpman drama triangle. There are three three what? Three things: the victim, poor me; the rescuer, let me help you; the persecutor, it's all about your fault. It's all your fault. So the victim is helpless, oppressed, and unable to make decisions. So I just uh, identify myself with a particular label, and then I can let go the label, and the label can come from a different source, which the role of Sherlock